The video you are about to see hides within a language of symbols some of the greatest secrets of the modern age. I will do my best to explain them, but I am only an 11-year-old autistic kid. Anyway, a word of warning: once you see this, your life will never be the same. In the opening scene, we see a goat, a symbol of Satan, acting as if it is hypnotizing you. This fades to a scene of a pair of hands, with a $sign ring clearly visible, acting as a great, invisible puppeteer. This represents the Satan-controlled banking system. Next we see G.W. Bush Jr. doing his best to distract us as he frantically dances on a floor tiled in black and white squares, just like the floor of every Masonic lodge in the world. He clearly seems confused, as if he has no idea what is going on. This scene is a mockery of Bush during 9/11 in a black school reading a book to some kids while the towers burn. Next, notice how his face seems to shift and morph, only to turn into Barack Obama, who has noticeably sharp canine teeth. As crazy as this sounds, this is a reference to the fact that Obama is a shape-shifting Nephilim blood drinker. I am not kidding. Here we see Alice, in the circle of life, holding an apple, which she drops. This represents even the fall of man. The apple rolls away to a predetermined spot, where it splits and spells the word Zu. This is a reference to a demon known as Pazuzu, or as he is called in the Bible, Legion. The lotus blossom that grows forth symbolizes the coming of understanding and the destruction of the plans of the demon spawn that are taking over our world. See how worried the bloodsucker is? Blowing in the wind is half of an American flag, symbolizing the split of the nation as some turn to God and others fall to Satan. Here we see a strange blue-skinned dancer. This is likely a representation of Shiva the Destroyer. Here we see Osama bin Laden. The patch on his jacket is the CIA logo. Bin Laden is a known CIA asset. This is easily proven based on factual documentary evidence from the US government. Bin Laden is also a Freemason. Notice I say is, not was. Here we see a mysterious man who appears to be asleep on his feet in a thin boat reminiscent of the craft Karen the ferryman of the dead piloted in the underworld. Next we see some sort of mechanical man with sharp fanged teeth and a serpent's tail. I believe this represents Cain, who is one of the gods of Freemasonry. Cain is still alive. He is a quasi-immortal vampire and the brains behind the entire operation. He's pretty funny in person, according to my cousin Jay. Some of the symbolism here I do not understand, but I want to point out the black eye on this child, and if you have not done so before, Google the Hollywood One Eye Club. So many powerful people are photographed covering one eye or with one black eye. It is because they are possessed by demons. They sold their soul to Satan. Here we see an average worker being drowned in some sort of green slime. I believe it represents death, but also literally drowning, as the New World Order finalizes their plan to enslave mankind. Here we see a protester trying to stop what is happening peacefully, only to stand face to face with death himself and becoming sheepish and afraid. No longer a tiger. We see Christ, still in his sleep state, letting the river of time take him forward to his destiny. We now realize that Cain is the television. The very idiot box that has turned mankind away from God and made us into greedy, motivated, morally ambiguous, and lazy animals. Christ is now awakening. The fire inside his mouth begins to burn. The fish jumping into the boat symbolize those that choose to follow Christ, being drawn to him as if by a magical force. Now we see a divine hand showing a penis-shaped tower. Inside we find an old hag witch. This is Elizabeth Bathory, the child-murdering witch and current Queen of England. Queen Elizabeth. She is a Nephilim witch. She is terrified of the power of Christ. Here we see the reawakened and fully conscious Christ destroying the lie of the monetary system and debt enslavement. Here we see Cain fleeing in terror as he realizes the errors of his ways and goes somewhere private to reflect on his choices. No longer under the influence of the lies of the television, this doll child once again becomes human. We see the mysterious dancer again, this time wearing a different mask. This symbolizes that evil wears many faces but all dance to the same tune of destruction. In this final scene, we see Christ on board his barks, souls of the righteous in tow, being born into the true reality that is heaven. With a fierce look of determination on his face, he has come to his final decision for those that refuse to repent for their transgressions against the one, and only, true God. The forces of evil and chaos that refuse to repent left behind in a world that is about to totally come undone in its final destruction by fire. Notice in the background as the sun spits 4 solar flares that first destroy the pyramid structures, representative of the demonic nations that stand in open rebellion, and then finally destroying everything behind Christ as he travels forth with his righteous and good children. If you watch this video, please share this with everyone you know because this is all really happening. The greatest forces of evil the world has ever known are here, on Earth, and trying to take over the world and enslave humanity. All of our governments, big business, academia, media, even this website, are all owned by Satanists right now. They are going to try and force you to bow before Satan. It is better to die than capitulate. Those that bow down to the goat are going to know the eternal lake of fire. This is not a joke. I am an 11-year-old, autistic kid that figured this all out on my own. You need to wake up before it is too late. You need to be ready to fight. Please share this video and check out our website at www.douchecoded.com for more content from me and my cousins. We are trying to save as many souls as possible. Comment below if you are saved.